Greetings, sweet, sweet people, from the trig point at Scythian Moor. That's the big hill near to the Old Man of Stour, where I've just been. I'm going to start this next video actually today, because I just got to the top of this hill then, and I don't know if you can see it in the distance there. There's like a lock, that's where my tent is. But I just thought I'd do a panoramic, because the weather's perfect for it. Just spin around and look at this, Scotland at its best. Do you know, I've been so jammy on this trip with the weather. Like I said, I think it might start changing tomorrow, but I've had nothing, I've had no rain. 6 days I've been out. Absolutely wonderful. So I'll get a nice chill night tonight, and then tomorrow it's only about 30-mile drive probably to where I need to park up for Sandwood Bay, and then I think it's about an 8-mile walk to get to Sandwood Bay. And I might push just past Sandwood Bay, because there's a Bothy I've always wanted to go, where there's a guy who lived there on his own for 30 years. He was a hermit. I'll find out more about him if I can. And basically his wife died in a car crash and he just lived as a recluse there, and he's painted the inside of it and everything. So I'd love to go and see that Bothy. So I might actually head there for tomorrow night instead of actually sleeping in the sand dunes. I don't know, I'll see what the weather's doing and see where the mood takes me. But yeah, let's crack on with this wonderful Scotland trip. Look at this, I'm lying in my tent and that's my view from out the window. Absolute wonderful, isn't it? This is the 6th night, or it will be the 6th night tonight. Just come down from the Old Man of Stour, and I'm going to chill out in here now. It's now, what time are we on? 7:15. Do you know, it's only been going dark up here about 11:30 at night. It's staying lighter so much longer than back home. So I'm going to appreciate this tonight. But what a great spot. I've got both sides open actually. That's a bit more remote. But yeah, a nice moon over the top of that lock after will be nice. I'm just showing you what 10:20 at night looks like at this part of the world. It's absolutely bizarre. I can still just about make out the green of the grass. 10:20 at night. Look at that. I'm 3/4 the way through one of my homemade bottles of wine, so I'm feeling quite chilled. It's great, I'm loving it. A million things go through your head when you're on little trips like this. I've been thinking about all kinds of stuff. Proper loving this though. Don't know what that little bird is, can you hear that? Oh yeah, I thought it wasn't going to do it again then. Yeah, the end of a fantastic day. And so it begins. I've left the car over there on that car park. That's a different car park than the last time I came in, but I think it's probably a lot more popular than it used to be. But here we go. Welcome to Sandwood Bay. I thought it was further than it is. This is saying it's only 4.5 miles. So I might push past. I might head for that Bothy actually. See if anyone's in there. Halfway to Sandwood Bay now. Weather's turning a little bit, but it is what it is. I've got a brand new jacket here, the Rab Firewall. So give it its first test in the outdoors in bad weather. I mean, like I said, it's not horrendous, but do you know what? this track is a lot different. I was thinking when I was here last time, it was about 15 years ago, and it's changed a lot. It really has. There's a big car park now where literally there was a space for about 3 cars at one time. There's now a big, well-trodden path to come all the way to Sandwood Bay. I've noticed a steady trickle of people already making their way up to Sandwood Bay. You know, Sandwood Bay was proper remote, no one knew about it 15 years ago. It was before the NC 500, and now it's advertised even on the main drags coming up here. Come and see the hidden corner of Scotland and all this stuff, and pictures of Sandwood Bay. So I'm thinking this west coast, it's lost its wilderness really. It just seems quite touristy, and it's only May, and yeah, that part of the NC 500 I had to go on again before. Shocking. Beautiful as well. It's such a shame. It's a drive I'd recommend anyone doing, because to see that scenery, but the roads are tiny and the passing places aren't that frequent, and it's not so much the camper vans, it's these big motorhomes are coming down there, and they're too big. They're even bigger than the passing places, some of them. It's quite stressful. I was quite happy to get off it. From leaving where I camped to getting off the NC 500, it was probably about 15 miles, but it took forever because I was constantly stopping and reversing. But yeah, look at this. Just been talking to a guy, a Scottish guy who lives in Devon, called John. His wife's up here with a black Labrador. So a nice bloke, comes up all the time, but I was telling him how much it's changed. To him it's still really wild up here, but I remember it when it was proper wild. I'm expecting to see people at Sandwood Bay, and at one time you could be at Sandwood Bay for 2 weeks and you wouldn't see anybody. So let's see what we find when we get there. What I think I'm going to do is push past Sandwood Bay and head for that Bothy where that guy lived for 30 years. I think there's some information about him in there, and we'll see what it's like for camping around there, or if there's no one in, I might even stay in the Bothy. It's going to be it is quite remote, the Bothy, so we'll see. But yeah, the big push to Cape Wrath has begun. That's my first glimpse of Sandwood Bay, everybody. The first glimpse for at least 15 years. And that behind it is Sandwood Lock. That's actually a freshwater lock. And the last time I was here, I was staying at a Bothy up that valley, a couple of miles up there. But this time I'm going to push down to Sandwood Bay, get onto Sandwood Bay, and then I'm going to push to the far end of it and head to the Bothy, north east of it. So that's the plan. Probably won't stay in there. I'll probably use the Bothy like I did the last one, just cooking it and stuff, but find somewhere outside. Sandwood Bay, good to be back. Welcome to Sandwood Bay, everybody. Britain's most remote beach, and I'm back again after 15 years. And you know what? Look at that, footprints in the sand. There was none of that 15 years ago. Dog prints in the sand, all kinds of stuff. So I'm surprised there's not an ice cream van, to be honest, but lovely to be back. And pity it's not beach weather. Brought me mankini and everything, but it's going to have to stay in the rucksack. But stunning. And nobody here. I mean, obviously signs people have been here, but there's no one here. There's a sea stack over there at the end, if you can make it out. That's actually more impressive than the Old Man of Stowe yesterday, to be honest. It's far more impressive. Should have just come here instead. Right, I'm going to carry on to the far side and then take a break for a bit and just enjoy being back here. Sandwood Bay, Britain's most remote beach. Sandwood Bay, Britain's most remote beach. A tribute to Stephanie Spark. Okay, this is from the other side now, guys, just looking down the whole length of Sandwood Bay. There's actually a lone person walking over there. I don't know if you can make them out. Kind of right in the middle there. Sorry about the shaky hand, but it is quite nippy. Just got behind some rocks trying to get shelter. I think I'm within an hour of that Bothy actually, which means I'll get there a bit early, but it doesn't matter. I'll go and get some videos, get a brew on, chill out. Well, this is the Bothy where the guy lived for 30 years on his own. Oh, it's proper in the middle of nowhere. It was a mission finding this, even with me satellite stuff on my phone. You're following a path and it's probably just animal tracks or sheep tracks. Somebody is in, I've just seen the door shut before. So I'll bob my head in, try and get a video, and then I'll go and camp somewhere. Right, situation is I've got to the Bothy. There's a couple in there, I think they're Scottish, nice couple as well, a man and a woman probably about my age to be honest. They're on about camping outside it as well though. I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable being in a Bothy because like I've turned up and they're already here, anyone else could turn up, you know. At least you know if you're in your tent, unless a right weirdo comes, no one's coming in your tent. But can you hear the weather? The weather's been quite horrendous really on the way here. But I don't feel that wet. I feel not too bad, feel alright. So I'm declaring that a success. No need to dive into my wet gear, or my dry gear, and take my wet gear off. So I'm just going to sit it out here for a few hours now, make a brew, and then later on I'll probably nip in there. And I think they're going to nip in later on, so, you know, seeing as I'm such a sociable guy these days. And I'll probably get some videos of it properly tomorrow, when I've got more daylight, the weather's a bit better. But yeah, night one on my 3-night exped into the proper wilderness. Well, here we are, and this is where I pitched up last night, outside the Bothy. Like I said, there was 2 people already here when I turned up. Nice couple I went in speaking to them later on. She was Scottish, he was from Germany, from Bavaria, and they're travelling together, but they camped outside about 9 o'clock last night, because I thought they were staying in the Bothy. And then about 9 o'clock last night they came out with the tents and like camp right near me, and I thought, what's all that about? Do you not know how unsociable I am? But this is the Bothy where the guy lived for 32 years. His name was Sandy. There's some information about him. I'll go in now and show you. That's why I've got my head torch on, because it's quite dark in there. And obviously with Bothies, you don't have any electricity or running water. And he lived out here for 32 years. And his paintings are still on the wall that he did. Amazing, honest. And like, seeing how the weather can turn, because it turned yesterday, it was raining quite a bit. I had to do me wet kit, dry kit stuff, because my underwear and socks were soaking wet. So I had to change them, get all my dry gear on, and then this morning I put them all back on again, because that's the way it's done. Right, let's go in the Bothy and have a look at it. I'll spin this round. Right, so this is it. Nice cute little red door. What a setting. What a place to live on your own for 32 years. Yeah, there's the Mountain Body Association badge. So let's have a look at the view he would have had out of his front door for 32 years. Not bad, eh? Not bad at all. Right, let's get this head torch on. Let's get in there. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Apologies for that. Just having a wrestling match with my head torch. And that one. So you come in and you've got a door on the left. This is just a couple of bunk beds, I think. Yeah, it is. So I don't know whether he would have slept in this room or what. I mean, obviously it wouldn't have had the bunk beds in when he was here, because the Mountain Bothy Association would have done all that stuff. But yeah, this is his living room. And these are all his little pictures that he did. Mad, didn't he? Just lived here for 32 years. That's his one sole window in the living room. Let's have a look at some of these paintings he did. Oh, made up to be here though. Like I said, this is a Bothy I've always wanted to come to as well. It's a proper tick the list. This is some information about him. I'll come back to that in a minute, because there's another little room here. Some little prayer flags. And then he's got some more of his paintings in here. I presume this might have been his bedroom, actually. Right, let's go and find out some information about him. His name was Sandy. There's a picture of him. Looks like a proper Scotsman. That looks like someone you'd see in Polpedo or Owen Martlands. And that's the name of the Bothy. You can try and pronounce that. Strathchailleach. This isolated house is thought to be the last on mainland Scotland that was lived in as a permanent dwelling without any services, no pipe water, sewage services, electricity or gas, no postal services, that's no surprise, and no road, not even a proper path to the door. This was the adopted home of James McCroy Smith, he had a double barrel name, who lived here as a recluse for 32 years, better known as Sandy. He walked out for his pension to Bale Street Post Office and onto the shop, the London stores beyond Kinlochbevy for his supplies, usually spending some time at the bar at the Garbett Hotel. His return route sometimes took him to the footbridge at Stratham, where he sometimes overnight. That was another Bothy that I've stayed at before, which is about 5 miles away. Though we always described it as a cold house. This walk is about 21 miles in all, and Sandy did this every week, winter and summer. Sandy had some other abilities as witnessed by his artwork on these walls. He was also known to be an astrologer. What kept him here for so long? The writer believes it was his close proximity to the finest natural dry peat bank in the north. Sandy was rarely without a cosy fire. About 1996, he moved out to a caravan accommodation in KLB. After a short illness, he died on the 20th of April 1999 at Rainmore Hospital in Inverness, aged 73 years, and now lives at rest in the nearby cemetery at Shigra. Over the recent years, Sandy was, I believe, the living ghost seen by many in the Bay of Sandwood. Now he is the real one. So there's Sandy, 32 years, what a guy. What a guy, 32 years living in this room.